Hi, everybody. Good morning to you from Germany and other parts of the world that it's morning. My name is
Yeah.
Mike, and today I have my co host from Nigeria, Michael, and we are going to be talking about the fact that migration is something personal and not a mystery. I moved to Germany back in 2014, and every step of the way, if there's one thing that I can tell you, is it has always been personal. Personal in the sense that everyone gets their own experience, how you move abroad, what happens to you, what you need, and so on and so forth. It's not a mystery, that's for sure. And today we will be unpacking that, touching on the key points that you need to understand. Speaking in line with that, I would also like to mention our platform, which we are developing for you. It's Settling. It's developed by Migrant for Migrant to assist with migration. What's even interesting recently is also our own settling AI model, which we are rolling out to personalize migration pathway. One thing I can tell you is that migration is complex. Yes, I do admit it's complex, but it's not a mystery. And there are solutions to tackle it. Part of the solution is the platform which we have developed, the platform which is sponsoring all these weekly shows that you see us come do every Saturday. But before I proceed, I'd like my co host to briefly introduce himself once more for those who do not know him, and then we will dive into the conversation for today.
Yes, thank you, Michael. As always, it's a pleasure to be on this podcast every Saturday in the morning. I want to believe in Germany it should be about 8 a.m. now.
That's right, it's 8 a.m. here.
Okay, it's 7 a.m., exactly 8 minutes past 7 in here in Nigeria. Particularly, I'm in Kaduna. Kaduna is safe. Kaduna is lovely this morning. The weather is cool.
Nice, nice,
Okay.
nice.
Uh, and so, talking about settling, like you rightly mentioned, is a platform or where we can exhaust everything here. So all the questions can be answered just in this program of about 1 hour. So if you want more resources on migration and all that, so settling is a place to go. The link will be provided in the comment section for those who want to sign up and then to access all the resources that are available on settling. And so that said, today we are simplifying this concept of migration. For most
Yeah,
people, migration is like writing further mathematics.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. When you say migration, it's like, wow, it's like something that appears very complex, very complicated. And so because of that, when you just talk about migration, it's like it doesn't concern me.
You
It doesn't
know, it's
concern me.
like,
Like people
yeah,
just come and that's like they are not talking about me. It's not
mhm,
something. This conversation does not concern me.
yeah,
And migration concerns everybody. You must not travel to
every,
Germany or
no,
to Europe or America or Sweden before you are migrating. If you move
no,
from Abuja to Kaduna, you have migrated. If you move from a state within your country to the other, you've migrated. So migration is not it's not something very complicated. I don't know if you agree with that, Michael.
yeah, 100%, and I think even more specifically, when you think about, say, like taking that big step of relocating to a new country, it's also huge, but it should be huge from a sense of taking that big step, leaving your country, going to a new location, new culture, new system and all. But it should not be huge in terms of, oh, it's a mystery. I have no idea how to go about it. It's not for me. I can't do it and stuff like that. Um, it's exciting. You go through the process and you be like, oh wow, this happened. Yeah, that's okay. But it should not be like I have no idea where to start from. It's not that complicated. It's not that complex. It is complex, could be complicated, but it is doable. It's kind of the difference between when you say something is simple versus easy. I would say migration is easy, but it's the process itself may not be simple, you know. Um, but yeah, coming to your point, I think what people misunderstand is that migration happens everywhere, every day. And the most important thing which people do not appreciate, in my opinion, is that what is keeping the world today as the world stands the way things move around and all that, it's all based on migration. Migration
Mm,
is how the world is today, literally.
mm,
And it keeps evolving, keeps evolving. What's even more striking is the fact that, given how important migration is, the center of almost everything in human civilization, you ask yourself, what tools are available to help make the process even more seamless for people? In my opinion, migration is one of the most complex and most important system, globally speaking, because where the world is today could only be this way because of migration. But then you
mm.
look at the other side and ask yourself, how many tools are out there to help simplify the process? And maybe this is why people think it's a mystery, because there are not so many resources to help you simplify the way.
Now, okay, talking about resources, because with globalization, with technology, with AI and everything, I think, and now, before this time, the sophistication, like in terms of technology, it takes a longer hour to travel, safety issues and all that, the complications, the complexities, the fears, and I mean, availability of aircraft and all of these things, resources generally and all that. So it
Yeah,
made migration. But a lot of persons are not aware that this is a far more simpler. Now, before this time, you have to travel down to an embassy before you process your documents. And maybe there are no telephones and all that, no internet, no. But this, you can stay in the comfort of your room, Michael, and process
yeah,
your visa.
100%. That's how simple it has become now. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have to register for a course to know about the culture of a place and all that. In the comfort of your room, you just type in AI will give you all the details about what to know about this place, their social welfare, and all of this. So I don't think it's actually a mystery. It could be
no,
made very easy.
it's not. I think it's about having more conversations like these and people being around the right network, and also just ensuring that you're not misled, because the other downside of it is that there are a lot of information out there, and mostly false information, you know, and it can be really, really overwhelming. Um, I think what people need to just appreciate or focus on is the fact that how you are going to migrate or move abroad for whatever reason is always dependent on your profile. So forget about what someone did. It's good to know, but understand that what is going to work out for you will always depend on your individual case.
Yes, you've always mentioned this program the importance of mindset, and then be careful about what you feed your mind with. I mean, the kind of information that you expose yourself to, because another person's experience may be different from yours. And that is where we now go to what the other side of this conversation, where you said migration is personal. What could you help us make sense of that? Migration is personal.
Yeah, so migration is personal in the sense that who are you? What's your background? What's your qualification? What's your experience? These things are personal things that could not be the same for other people. Maybe there might be some overlaps, but not everything. And then on the other hand, where are you going to? Not everyone wants to go where you want to go to, you know? So where do you want to go to as an individual? And there are factors that would influence where you want to go to. Because again, migration is a journey. And for most people, it's like a permanent journey, it's a permanent relocation. And that's deep if, of course, you're someone who really thinks long term for what you want to do for yourself. Recently, I was having a conversation with Shane, the founder of Walk Abroad, uh, a company here in the Netherlands in Europe, and he mentioned we realize that a lot of migrants do not have plans for themselves before they migrate, before they move, and what that translates to is you're living in a country and you have no idea. Am I here to? Have I relocated permanently? Do I have plans to go back? If I do, when? You know. So, and these are all factors that are tied to you as an individual. These are not things that necessarily correlate with other people, and that's why I say it's personal, because your qualification, your educational background, your interest, where you're going to, what you want to do. These are things that have to come from you, and that's where it becomes personal.
Oh, yes, that's very well. So it means it's not a straight line graph because what works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B and might not work for Mr. C because we travel for different reasons. For
Yeah,
instance, now, even you and I might be traveling for education purpose, but again, you are studying medicine, I'm studying engineering, or maybe social sciences, and the requirements will continue to differ.
yeah,
Again, okay, the university where we are going, the location again differs. What is obtainable in those locations again differ. The cost
yeah,
for rent, the cost for maybe social welfare and all the other
and
frameworks,
it's
existing
yeah,
frameworks might again differ. So that makes it very personal. And it's not very easy, like you always say. There are some people will call and say, how much do I need to travel abroad? Now
where you
you're
might
not
start
mentioning what
from.
country you are traveling through. You're not
Yeah,
mentioning what location you are going to, what course you're going to study. Are you going to work? Are you coming for on asylum? Are you coming on business visit? Are you so
hmm,
it's personal, uh,
it's
you know?
personal. It's
Yeah.
personal. And so, if you're watching this from wherever, first and foremost, feel free to leave your comments, questions. We are happy to take them. If you would also like to jump on the show to show your face and also speak with us, we're happy to also send a link to you as well. Um, it's really important to emphasize this point of migration being personal because if people understand this, then hopefully they will not be asking the questions of how much do I need to relocate to location XYZ. Frankly speaking, nobody knows that. If someone is giving you a quote, then chances are they just want to get your money because how can you just ask someone, how much do I need to relocate? And then they tell you it's going to cost you XYZ. You have no idea and no clue. But people actually charge and then they pay for God knows what. When the pathway is not very clear. And I don't understand why people do this. And I think they should stop doing it.
Like anybody who wants to be, people who are into criminal activities always find cracks. They take advantage of your vulnerabilities and those fears of fear of the unknown and all these things. And then they appear to provide you with all the solution, all the answers to the many questions running through your mind
Yeah.
which you have not been able to try to like answer by yourself or find the right platform to get
Hmm.
answered. And so because of that, you end up a victim of a scam and fraudsters and all that too. And this is what we are here to do to make you understand that to simplify it, this thing is not complicated if you ask the right questions and if you are having a conversation with the right persons. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
No, Michael,
Um,
like now, when you want to talk about what has migration done for you as a person, what are the implications of migration?
well, one key implication is you most likely have to let go of a lot of things. Um, in my case, for example, I'm becoming more and more German and kind of less and less Nigerian. So that would be one part. But there are still ways to balance this for sure. But it's important to know that you will not have everything. You most likely have to let go of certain things because you're embracing other things. That's the practical situation, at least by default. The other implication would also be that if you are not careful and don't pay attention to your new location, then sometimes you could get into trouble that you maybe otherwise in your home country will not get into. And that can be really sad. Opportunities also, you could see opportunities or challenges. It depends on who you are and your perspective. Um, there are people who see opportunities all around them, whereas there are others who see reasons to complain. And this also is another implication of migration because you are in a new location but you don't understand the system. So lots of things present themselves as challenges, whereas there could be opportunities. Um, so, and then the list keeps going on and on. Another aspect also would be how you go about the process. Like if you don't understand it, then it could result to going the wrong way, like we're talking about now, falling into the hands of scammers and all. So that could also be another implication for someone considering migration but not getting the right information. And the list goes on and on and on. Um, one way for sure to mitigate that would be patient with yourself and understand and appreciate that it's personal. There's no need to jump and rush, but know that this is something. I guess there's a say that anything worth doing is worth doing well. So if it's worth doing for you, then you should do it very well. And that would also include taking the time to understand what you're going into. And if you're working with people, who are those people that you're going to work with? Yeah.
Well, I think another issue that makes people to view migration as something very complicated is the cultural integration. This issue, this name calling, if I may say, a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
stranger, that feeling of being called like a stranger, being perceived as a second class person, and all of those stuff, and moving from where you are like the landlord to where you are like a tenant, and we're looking, if you look at moving from where you are like the Lord of the Ring to where you are like just like an onlooker from one of the main actors in, and all of this
Yeah.
issue. So moving from the unknown to the unknown, and
Yeah.
also there are also these challenges of systemic related issues. You're moving
Yeah.
from this particular system to another system. I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean to
Mm-hmm.
be disrespectful, but in this part of the world, if you see the zebra crossing, guys are still speeding like nothing is happening. If
Yeah.
you see the
Yeah. And you
traffic,
just wonder how.
guys
Yeah.
guys are breaking the traffic rule like there's nothing is happening, and all that. So you're working from a place where the system is not that very effective to a place
Mm-hmm.
where every single action or inaction has implications. So I think this is part of the issue. So, and I think that the application is also migrating because you've got to adapt to this new normal, new ways of doing things. And,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
so,
you
what
get to
was
see
that?
and appreciate
What was
things.
that like for you?
Yeah. 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 For sure. That's also another aspect, that you become exposed. You have also another type of education.
Yeah,
Um, and then you really appreciate other cultures and traditions and systems. And I genuinely believe that you become a better person. Why? Because you have a broader perspective of what life is, how life is, um, and you're not hopefully shallow-minded anymore. But you get to understand that the world is much bigger than where you are or where you come from, what you think. It would interest you to know that many of the things that people know today, they would end up realizing that, well, there's a lot more that they don't know, you know, and that makes you a bit more reserved and you listen more and talk less because there's so much that you don't know, so much that you don't know.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
now, yeah, someone that you don't know. Now, in your opinion, what is the best way to approach this natural feeling of anxiety? There must be this anxiety, no matter how strong you are or brave you are. You're moving from like what you know to what you don't know, from where you know to where you don't know. You don't know how the streets are interconnected, the complexities of the flyovers and all of these things, the train system, how to. So there must be all these questions running through your mind. How do you assess the transport? How do you move from here? A friend told me he went to New Zealand and then he got missing. It took several hours before he was found and then to trace his way back to where his hotel where he was lodged. There was office work. I then traveled to Switzerland. He just took a stroll outside. He went somewhere and then he missed his way. And so there must be all these issues. So what do you advise? What are the ways to deal with these fears? You
Yeah,
know,
the first thing is patience. That's the first thing. Time is one of
yeah,
the most important assets that,
yeah,
anyone can have, and how well you use it
yeah,
will really determine the quality of life that you get. So the first thing is patience, and that translates to also you using your time very well. Because the more time you give to yourself, then the better that you can plan. And so, if you understand the need to be patient, if you understand the need to give yourself enough time, then what this essentially translates to is that um, you're patient enough to seek the right information, and with the right information, then you can make an informed decision. Of course, there are no guarantees that everything would go 100% smoothly, but then your chances of getting all those anxieties, feeling anxious and all, would be drastically reduced. It's like the difference between someone who goes for a job interview well prepared versus someone who is not prepared and just goes for the job interview, you know. Or you can also think about it as the difference between someone who has had experience with several job interviews versus the person who's just going for the first time. The approach are usually different. One is more calmer, chilled, and just having the conversation. The other one is all tensed up. It's also the case here. It's all about how informed you are and how experienced you are in that space. But the best thing, in my opinion, would be definitely surrounding yourself with a network of people who have gone that path, that route that you envision to go. And this is also where settling comes in again, because being a platform that is simplifying migration process, you are also connected with people who have traveled to other parts of the world and potentially people who have as close as possible similar profile to you. If I am speaking to someone who has gone the route that I want to go, so let's say someone who's going for their master's in biochemistry and they come from Nigeria and they want to do this in Germany. So chances there you can see a pattern there, and it becomes easier for me to advise someone like that because there's a similarity in the pattern, you know. Things have changed, when I moved versus now, but fundamentally, the pathway is still pretty much the same. Some things may have changed, but the structure is still the same structure. So if I would advise someone like that, then they have no reason to be unnecessarily anxious, and this is also where I emphasize the need to stay connected with people who are either on that journey or those who have done it before, because it becomes easier for them to advise and just easily carry you along.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me, Michael?
Yeah,
Now you've mentioned something very important here. You've got to be patient with yourself.
yeah,
It's like a child who doesn't want to crawl. You just want to stand up and start walking once. You must have seen such children. They don't want to crawl, and even when they are walking, they want to just start running. No, it's a process. It
it's a
takes time.
process.
You cannot
Yeah,
just
it
leave.
takes time.
You cannot just leave Lagos to maybe Germany or UK. I want to understand all the streets, want to understand how all the community function and everything all at once. You've got to be
No,
patient with yourself and ask questions and have people who have traveled same routes like Michael rightly mentioned, and then I will take you through. If I want to go to this place, how do I go about it and all of that? Ask the questions ahead before
yeah,
the real situations present themselves, and then it will help you to be better because for every error you make worsens your anxiety. For
yeah,
every single error, for every single thing you get wrong, you get the first wrong, you get the second wrong, the third wrong, it will begin to affect your belief and expose you a
yeah,
lot to, you become agitated and all that. So why not find someone like
yeah,
our people always say in our own parlance, they say follow who know road.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
follow who
even
know
in
road.
doing that, people should. I like to really emphasize this, need for patience. I don't get why. In some
Yeah,
cases, I've had friends who they call me or they want to speak with me, and
yeah,
I say, okay, hey, sure, but please text me what you would like to talk about,
yeah,
But somehow they don't want to text; they just want to call directly. And right now, I'm wired in such a way that um, I wouldn't pick call from anyone just like that. I like to know what are we going to talk about, you know,
yeah.
for multiple reasons. It could be resolved with just a few words, chat, and there's no need for a long phone call. But then, more importantly, is for you to think about what you want to say or what you want to communicate, because someone can just because you're friends or you know them or whatever, they just pick up the phone. They're not even sure what they want, and then you like end up having to. It's like, come on, the least you can do is understand what you want for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah,
If someone would
yeah,
have to help you understand that, then that's really dangerous because, like, where are we going? You know. So this is what I don't understand. Maybe you can help me understand this, but I don't get why people cannot take the time to just know what they want for themselves and be able to express that, you know? Because we are talking here about follow who know road. But how do you
Yeah,
follow that person if you don't even understand where you're going to? Because that person that knows the road might not be going to the road that you want to go to, or you that maybe that's not where you want to go, but you think you can't just follow, you still have to do your own primary assignment so that as that person is leading, you know at what point to stop, you know,
yeah,
because who knows
yeah.
where that person is going to. The person can lead you to a certain stage, but you should know where you are going to and know when to exit that bus. Let's put it that way. Because that person that you're following, they also have a completely, most likely different targets, you know, but they could lead you on that path to a certain extent. So if you're not solid on what you want for yourself, then you will just follow anybody because you feel like there are no road and they're most likely going to where you're going to, which might not be the case. And I feel like this is also where people fall into the wrong hands because um, since some people know that people want to follow who know road, they present themselves as though they know the road, but they are not, they are malicious, they have other intentions. And you jump on that wagon, and that's what people call scam. So I see a blackout. Are you there, Michael?
Yes, I'm here. There was a slight network glitch, but I can hear you now.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And I feel like this is one of the key reasons why, yeah, they are, of course, trusted people, no doubt. But then people now misuse this concept, because they know that a lot of people will not do their, homework. And I don't understand why people do that to themselves. Yeah.
All
So,
right, all right.
uh,
So,
yeah, go on,
are you
please.
done?
Yeah.
Now you've said something very important again. Well, it's good to follow who know road, but along this road there are addresses, there are houses,
Okay.
there are places. Okay,
Yeah.
so but you have to know where you are going. So this person who knows the road can lead you to the right place. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is the road. We can just be walking on the road endlessly and heading nowhere. So you must have specifications or ideas of where exactly you are going. Okay, I'm going to Shinkafi Road. Okay, that's the road. Okay, this
Okay.
person knows the road. But where exactly on that road are you going? So to a very
Yep.
large extent, you have to know what you want. You want to travel abroad. Okay, just call somebody and say, I want to travel abroad. What? Okay, what? You don't know. Okay, are you coming to work? Are you coming to school? Are you coming on a visit of tourism? Where do you want to work? Are you into engineering, to medicine, or whatever, agriculture? What are these things? So when you call somebody and you say, I want to travel abroad, I want to migrate, and you bring all this, it's properly structured, your needs and everything, and it's easier for the person to have I think that's what Michael is trying to say here. You just call
Yeah.
somebody and say, I want to something, and you are giving this person a whole mountain of work to do. Every other thing he has to start thinking about it for you, and it
Yeah.
becomes
Mm,
you
yeah.
know, last night I said most time it's simply people who are willing to stand. Okay. Okay, people who are making effort to stand, it's easier to strengthen them. But when you are not even willing to stand, now how does somebody you will pick you up, you fall down, pick you fall down. So you should be able to like do the basics for yourself
Yeah.
before somebody is
Yeah.
able to help you in your migration journey. So if
Yeah.
you want to travel abroad, okay, I am thinking I have so things in place, but I'm confused about the destination. Should I travel to Germany? Is Germany the best place? These are the things I want to do. Do you think
Yeah.
Germany is the best place for this? Do you think is Sweden? Do you think is so? Then this person, okay, based on what you've come with, your proposals, this
Mhm.
person can better support you and give you better direction than to just come like a blank check and nothing on it. And then, and this person also have things that he's thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
it's the thing is even for an experienced person, it's also a bit complex, and then let alone when someone who hasn't. done it before, just comes and yeah, gives you a blank path and say, hey, help me do whatever. Um, and this is the reason why people actually fall into the
Yeah.
wrong hands because someone tells them, oh, I will do it for you, and they just believe the person. So I think if there's one thing that people can learn from this conversation which we're having now
Yeah.
is um, yeah, don't put your destiny in someone else's hand without knowing what they're going to do. Even if you would pay for the service that you offer to that person, it's still your responsibility to take the time to understand what's happening, you know, because again, no one can take care of you as good as you would take care of yourself. Well, some people don't take care of themselves very well, but in a normal case, that's how it's supposed to be, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So, as a junior executive, while I was working with my principal in one of my most recent roles, I was at the Indian embassy. You know, it's very difficult to get India visa. It's one of the most complicated process getting an India visa, especially if you are going on official visit. But if you are going on health purposes, and again, this is what people need to know. What you are going to do determines the speed of processing of your visa. Me
Yeah.
and you, we might go to the embassy same day for a visa. In less than a week or in about a week's time, the first person, the other person might get the visa while I'm still on in the process for about 2, 3 months, and I've
Mm-hmm.
still not gotten my visa. So your reason for traveling, the kind of visa I apply for, also determines the speed of approval. And so going
100%.
back to my story, so when I went there, one of these vendors, this agent, visa agent at the embassy, I said, okay, can I get the link to this? He said, no, you can't do it for yourself. It's very complicated. You can't do it for yourself. When you're ready, come, we'll do it for you. Okay. And I said, but I've processed other visas to other countries, Switzerland, another parts. I have a very good record, Italy, Belgium, and all that. So I have a very good experience on how to process visas. I said, no, it's something I can do now. If it's something you can do, you can read that, right? You can use the system. It has to be done in the system. Documents will be
Yeah.
required and all that. So why are you saying I can't do this thing? Are you
Yeah.
now? I mean, are you the India ambassador to Nigeria who now gives the approvals? So I went ahead and I did the processing and I was successful. In fact, my madam at the point she said that I'm very good with this visa thing because to be very frank, I had about 95% success rate with processing of visas because I know that the success of any visa is in the authenticity of your document and
Yeah.
then how you arrange your documents. I
Yeah.
mean, they must be authentic and given at the right time. Okay,
Yeah.
and once that is
100%.
done, unless there is something else, I don't know
Yeah.
how you will not be giving you approval. It will not be approved for you. So I
Yeah.
did all that. The success rate is quite high. So now people should know you can read and write. You can use the internet. You can browse. You can TikTok. You can Facebook. You can everything. But when it comes to processing your document, you should know the requirements. You need the international passport. What are the requirements? You go and Google it. You know the requirements. So embassy this country, what do I need? I'm going for student visa, so. What do I need? They will come for you. You go and make them available. You submit it another. It's not rocket science. So, like we
Yeah.
said, migration is not complicated. So,
No.
for people,
No.
and the way we celebrate visa here, sometimes somebody gets visa, he goes to church and say, I don't get the visa. I have visa. Like,
Yeah.
and then this is
It's
what they make it look like it's something cumbersome, something quite difficult to get. And well, somebody said, give testimony in church, something big, and that I just got my US visa. And
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they have
It's
one and
it's
makes it look at this might be something huge.
yeah. So there are a couple of reasons for that, but this is actually a reality. Um, it all connects back to again to like the how the country or the continent is. So back home in Africa, in Nigeria, I think it's not a very common thing that people like just travel abroad for vacations and all. So most times, majority of the people who are traveling abroad, they are traveling for the first time, most likely not to come back. So
Yeah,
so it's not like it's not a norm. It's just a few a small percentage of people that it's normal for them to travel on business trips, tourism, health care, and so on and so forth. So if it were in a country where people, it's a normal thing that people travel for vacations almost every year. then you know that it's nothing to get a visa. You just know that you what are you going for? Do you meet the requirements? Do you have the requirement? Are the documents completed? And then boom, off you go. But when it comes now to migration, because migration now is it's like next level. You're not just going for health or tourism, you are literally migrating. So it becomes a bit complex because after you get the visa and move to the new country, then you also have to settle down, establish yourself, and do stuff. And I think I don't even know if people are thinking this deep because most times it's just get that visa. That's all they want, and then they figure out every other thing later. But um, that's also where some people kind of fail because then you don't know that the system is considering what is your purpose of traveling. And if, of course, there is no system that would say, I am traveling for migration. No, there's no such visa. However, it's either for a short stay or a long stay. And the long stay, that's where the migration now comes in. So you have to know this. You have to understand that for the long stay, then the requirement becomes a bit different because the destination country is considering you to stay there for long and potentially would have to integrate, you know. But no one says migration, but we all know it's migration in practice, because for most of the people who travel on a long term visa, they mostly migrate. So I just would like to point out that when you think migration, ask yourself, why do you want to do it? In a lot of cases right now, people are kind of just escaping, going for better life and all that, which is 100% genuine. Why? Because what you have is needed elsewhere, especially right now that Germany and other European countries are in need of skilled and unskilled professionals. So right now it's even completely transactional. So you don't even have to feel whatever. No, you just have to know that there is an opportunity for me in this other part of the world. And what do those people need? What am I going to offer to them? I think the mindset should begin to change in this direction because, like we started, one of the bases of this conversation, which we're having every week, is the fact it's due to the current dynamics um, in the global uh, population imbalance, so to speak. The change. I'm trying to think about that term. The dynamic in the imbalance, in the global population, so to speak. You know, and if you understand this, then you know that you are needed. I don't know how to just emphasize this. You are needed. Germany has been needing international students for decades. The system of free tuition education, the system of vocational training, and all these things which are open to also foreigners has been existing for decades. So it's not something recently. And so that means they've been positioning themselves to attract the best and the best of talent. In the US, this has been happening for centuries. That's why the US is the way it is today. So again, you are needed, except you have some, you know, uh, you have some other motives, and that's where things get complicated. But if you genuinely have something to offer, you can't just move to another country and just sit down and do nothing. So the question is, what is it that you want to do? If you start from there, then the process becomes a lot easier for you. Whether you're going for studies, for work, you want to relocate your whole family, vocational training, business, whatever it is, there is something for you.
Yeah, so so you've always mentioned here you are needed. If you are needed, you don't need to push yourself. You don't need to be anxious. Now, talking about being needed, I was discussing with a friend about someone I know who is studying AI in India. And then we're talking about, okay, if this person is done from India, where is the right place? I was talking of Europe. And then the person
Okay?
said, no, that the best market for AI right now is in USA, because the likes of Mark Zuckerberg and others, they are making huge investment in this area, and that they are looking for the AI experts very seriously. That the market, the AI market in US is hottest in US presently. So now this is a conversation. You have a skill. Where is this skill particularly needed? Where is it relevant?
Yeah.
So these are the basic questions that you have to know. Okay, I'm into agriculture. Which country is looking for special those who specialize in agriculture?
Yeah.
I'm into medicine and all of that. Which country is really where is this needed right now in the
Where is
world?
it?
So it will inform your decision of destination where you're migrating to. And again, it will accept you to it will influence your level of approvals or acceptance in that place. So
Yeah.
most time when where you are supposed to, this is a skill you have and you are taking it to the wrong place, fitting in, settling in becomes difficult. And
Yeah.
this is part of what platforms like settling does for you. It's not
Yeah.
it's like they will always say it's not every good woman that is good for you as a wife. Okay.
See?
Yeah. Neither is every good man that is good. A friend once told me, say, Michael, you're a very nice guy, I like you, but I don't want to be like you.
Abi?
You know,
Simple.
yeah. Yes, and I understand I understand with him because I've also seen somebody like N'Golo Kante. They say he's the most humble player on planet Earth. He's very rich, but he lives a very poor life. I say he's a good guy, but I don't want to be like him too.
Yeah.
I can't
Mm-hmm.
have all this money and I'll be dressing like a farmer. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you should be where you are wanted, where is best suited for your kind of person, for your skill set. I
Yeah.
mean, and this is where the success starts. If you take the right skills to the wrong country or wrong destination, you struggle to fit in. And I think this is where
Yeah.
it's important we mention this too. It's all
Yeah.
about yeah. Mm,
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing. So it's people have to think about it in the next level, and even
yeah,
if you're going for, say, if you're going to study as well, it's the same thing. You have to ask yourself, what are the opportunities available for me as a student in this country? Certain countries or certain destinations, as a student, you're allowed to work. In other destinations, you're not allowed to work. Certain
yeah.
destinations allows you to work more hours than other locations. So do you need more hours? Do you not need more hours? I know that by saying it this way, it's coming across as complicated, and it really is. And that's why you don't have to do it alone. That's why we're also developing the community for you, that you can ask all these questions, and you don't have to like try to figure out everything yourself. But by getting information from community members over time, you have enough resources to make your own decision. And I think that's the most important part. The final decision should come from you. Don't let someone decide for you. Seek information and now make your decision based on this information. And I think in this way,
Yeah.
you you I mean, you have a case where you don't even pay a dime. The only thing you pay, the cost would be your time. Which again, it's either you're paying with your time or you're paying with money. But I
Mm,
recommend paying with your time, because once you've invested that time, you have that knowledge, most likely for life. And it becomes something
yeah.
which is transferable, which you can create something out of it. But gather the info, make the decision yourself.
Now, Michael, migration can also go wrong. You know that now.
Yeah.
Migration can go wrong. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, there are some persons who traveled to go study abroad, maybe Russia or some other places. I think I can see Charles Codwell on the call.
Yeah, so he's greeting
Is that
from
kind of
Hong
question?
Kong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. You can't just leave for another country, but you have to ask yourself if it's the right fit for you. Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
100%. Go on, Mike.
I think Michael, Charles was trying to make a contribution sometime last week. I don't know if he has something to say to join the call and then
Yeah,
or want to
yeah,
make
for
the point
sure.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, Charles, feel free to let us know if you want to jump on, and we'll send you the link.
Mm. All right. So now, I was saying migration can also go wrong, and this is what I mean.
Yeah.
You still recall what happened, and before you migrate, you have to know of the socio political stability of the area or the region. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of students were stranded in Ukraine.
Yeah. Yeah.
We started in Ukraine, and maybe you started a program, you're already like 4 years into the program, is a 5 years program, and then this war starts. And every effort is like now wasted. So that is migration going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you also I don't know, you must be aware of what happened in Sudan when a number of Nigerian students could never access a means of transportation to escape for their life. It became a safety issue,
Yeah.
serious safety issue. They had to start trekking miles and all that just to gain access and then be able to run out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think on the side of safety? I think there should
Yeah.
be some kind of forecast or into the future, going by history of maybe the possibility for hostility in the area before you go and waste useful years, like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
There was a story
Mm-hmm.
recently of a Nigerian in Russia who some other things he went to study or what, and then got involved in a crime, and then one of the ways that he was to be given a leeway out of the institution was for him to join the Russian army, and then he got captured by the Ukrainian army. That is migration completely gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now,
Yeah.
what? Now, how do we avoid this kind of situation where you don't find yourself in a situation where you went for all the right reasons, but all of a sudden everything goes wrong? We've also heard of people who, I think this is just the truth, who migrate for the right reasons, but along the way they start doing some other criminal stuff. And we hear sometimes we hear of Nigerians or some other persons who have been locked up or in prison for maybe committing certain crime.
Mm-hmm.
What is your advice on this kind of to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that migration doesn't go wrong?
Yeah. 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 So, situations like this could happen anywhere, wherever one is. Certain things cannot be predicted, or at least not completely. However, one could do themselves the favor of trying to understand the background of that location that they are going to, and if this is somewhere that they can stay, you can always check out what's the crime rate of that location they are going to. What's the most common crime there? What's also the political situation like? I think it's good before you decide on a country to go to that you inform yourself about um, the political state of that location. What are people saying? What kind of conversations are going on? Uh, we see what's happening in the Middle East right now. I think in a situation like this, it would not really be the best place to think about going. I recall some years ago, I think back in 2023 or 22, um, I was supposed to go on a business trip to Israel, you know, but then the whole unrest in the Middle East was already happening, and it was, yeah, maybe nothing could have happened or whatever, but then you just know that, okay, hey, um, this is what's happening in that location. There's an unrest, and you have no idea what it could turn out to, you know. So you can inform yourself this way and think about another location, you know. So doing that background check definitely something very important that people have to pay attention to. But on the other side, in certain situations, it can also be that you are in a particular location and everyone outside of that location sees all the dangers, but you don't see it in that location, where you are. So a good way to
Yeah.
balance this would also be to get in touch with the people who are over there and ask them how are things going on, like what's the situation of things there, and again, gather as many information as possible so you can now make your decision. That helps a lot. But definitely, checking the political situation in that location. Is there unrest? What's the rate of crime? Um, what's the security state of that location? Uh, and very importantly, how about the social support system? Especially for foreigners. If something goes wrong, where are you going to get support from? You need to ask all these kind of questions. And by the time you like just speaking about this right now, one sees, okay, how complex the process is and the things you need to consider. But when you gather this information, then it becomes easier for you to say, okay, I think this would most likely be the best place for me to go. No guarantees, of course, but at least you did your homework.
Yeah. So wow, that's another very good one. So it is very good. Leave no stone unturned. Ask all the basic questions. Ask all the right questions. Like a safety professional. In fact, think more negatively. What if this goes wrong? What if it goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? All the possible things that could go wrong, and you
Hmm.
answer all the questions yourself. If you can't provide the answers, go like you talked about the community well, that will give you all the support. You have a community of persons, maybe from your country or your area or your region. Try to connect with them. Don't do it alone. Try to connect with
Yeah.
people who could provide you all these levels of support, so that you don't now you can learn from their mistakes. Like they will always say,
Hmm.
it is always bad for others to learn from your mistakes. Others have made these mistakes. You can leverage on that, and then so that you don't have to make some mistakes again. You have this
Yeah.
opportunity,
Yeah.
but you want to make life difficult for yourself. You have people you can ask, and it is for this same reason that platforms like certainly exist. Michael, I think we will be talking about this one again very, very seriously. About maybe if you want to travel for studies and not especially for studies, what are the opportunities that you have there? What are the things that you should put into consideration so that this number of years don't become wasted? Although this is about migration, but again, from studying, a lot of persons have had to just migrate permanently and then to live in
Yeah.
that place and study for that. So
Yeah.
if you are traveling abroad, so long as it's not just like a short stay kind of visa, all things can happen. It's most likely if you are staying in a place for 5 years, it's more like your home now. So it's a form
Yeah.
of migration still. So you have to ask all the basic questions so that there will not be too much room for errors. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know for our viewers if they've got anything to say, contributions or questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Charles would have loved to join, but he's in the public transport. So
Oh,
and
okay.
then
Okay.
Mr. Hilary Abu is wishing us more grace. Thank you. Um,
Yeah.
so sadly, we don't see the comment from Twitter. This we usually see later on. So yeah, but to all our viewers, wherever you're watching from, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, the conversation continues. Our objective here is that you understand that migration is personal, and I think it's something very important that you should not jump into. We are developing Settling for you as a platform that is your migration companion, so you don't have to do it alone. Um, yeah, by default, what the platform serves you is that you can come and ask questions, and community members will respond to the questions for you. We have also taken things to the next step by also rolling out the Settling AI, which is migration focused. So it's going to understand your profile, who are you, where you're coming from, where do you want to go to, and then give you the basic information that you need. Again, the decision has to be taken by you, but the more information that you have in front of you, of course, not trash information, but uh, genuine information, then the better it becomes for you to make an informed decision. And honestly, our goal at Certain is to empower you, to empower your migration journey. It should be in your hands. It should not be in the hands of some agent, some service provider, some travel agency. No, it's your life, it's your path, it's your future. You have to take it into your hands. Even if you're going to outsource whatever service to anybody, still understand what's happening. It's very sad that people realize these things only much later on. You want to study, yes, you have two options. You can apply to the uni yourself or you can outsource the process because it's time consuming, definitely. And this is what you pay a service provider for. But if you do have the time, then it's best you do it yourself. Why? Because it is part of the journey. You know, if you want to migrate for work, again, you can rely on agencies that are going to help brush up your profile, train you, do all the nice stuff for sure. But trust me, no agency should guarantee a job, except they are the ones hiring. Because at the end of the day, it's the hiring manager that's going to give you the job. So if that's not the case, then um, don't trust whatever someone is going to tell you. No. And if you're going to use some agency for coaching and preparing you, good stuff, but again, still do your homework. Vocational training, there are different paths to migration. And sometimes your intention was not actually to migrate. You just wanted to test life in that location, and then you find yourself that, oh, this is a nice location, I like this place, I want to stay. you know Great. So just always keep these things in mind, that you do not oversimplify the process. No, it's very important because it's your life which is at stake here. It's your life which is at stake here. It's Jonathan. Sent us an email since yesterday. Thank you for the reminder, Jonathan. Appreciate it. We will get back to you for sure. We'll get back to you for sure. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder, Jonathan.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say before we wrap it up
Okay.
is
Okay.
really,
So, Michael, now,
yeah,
okay.
please, no, go
Another
on.
comment. All right. So, Michael, when we're talking about this, I would have loved for us to just close it by because we're running out of time. But there was something very important I was expecting you to say when I was talking about the implication of migration. There are things that you were not entitled to, which your son now, Ike,
Uh,
expressly enjoys by virtue of being born. Because you see a lot of Nigerians also traveling abroad so that their children could be citizens of the country, which naturally makes them like citizens naturally, and they have this access. So by that single decision of yours by to migrate to the first place, they have a lot of leverages and opportunities that which you struggle to get, which the children will not struggle to get naturally. So I think we also saw into the Bible when Joseph migrated, he brought about a whole community of the Jews in Egypt. And in fact, it was becoming a thing of concern, and Joseph became a minister there. And you don't want to know about what that happens to your children. All that he went through as Joseph, the children didn't have to go through it again. We can go on and on. Abraham migrating and all that happened thereafter. So the first person who wants to come always goes through this stress, but the subsequent generations, there's always this beautiful things that come with it. I don't know. We don't have the time to talk about that. I don't know.
yeah, for sure. I mean, there are a lot of beautiful
Because
aspects
your
of
son,
migration.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you still hear me?
loud and clear. Yeah, it's just it takes a while, but then I still
Oh,
hear you.
what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah, I can hear you. So, yeah, guys, we're wrapping it up for today. Jonathan, great stuff. We definitely are going to connect soon. And yeah, hopefully get to see you in Germany sometime. Um, the bottom line today, guys, is migration is something important. It's personal. It's a lifetime journey, and you should take it seriously. Do not take it lightly. Do not put it in the hands of other people, but take charge. And we are here to empower you. We're here to let you know that it's an important step, it's huge, and you should take it seriously. But even more importantly than that, we are also giving you the tools to help you do this yourself. And that's where settling comes in. So if you have not signed up on Settling, I do encourage you to create an account on settling.com. Take a moment to browse through the features which we offer on the platform and ask your questions. We and other community members are there for you to help you understand the right path for you. Be patient with yourself. Do not jump into conclusions very quickly. Definitely do not hurry and take the time to understand that it takes a while, it's a journey, and it's worth doing very well. If you're going to work with somebody, also understand what they're going to do for you. Ask as many questions as possible, but do take the time to do your own research. And again, that's where settling comes in. So thank you guys for tuning in from all your different locations. We are already running out of time. Uh, I kindly ask you to share these videos with whoever you think needs to watch it. Let them know that migration is something which they can have. It's for everybody. It's all about opportunities. You have something that is needed elsewhere. So the question is, where is that needed the most? And what plans do I have for myself? And then that helps you to make the decision that you want to make. Um, so Mike is back on stage. I'm going to add him so that we can now wrap it up for the day.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. I've been backstage, and it's good to hear all that you've been saying. And thank you all for joining for today. This is all we have for you for today. We don't want to keep you here much longer. See you next weekend and do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks. Bye for now.
Yeah. So bye guys for now, and we will see you next week. Share the video, leave your comments below, and yeah, definitely send us a message on Settling. Cheers for now.
Bye.